Hey guys, it's Kate, and I hope you're having a fantastic day today. I broke out my watercolor palette, and it's getting to be that time of year where it's close to winter, but I really wanted to do some autumn colors. So I went ahead and did a quick watercolor with some autumn leaves, and it could be used on a card or a piece of wall art. You can upsize it if you want. I'm working pretty small like I normally do, but obviously with a bigger brush and some more paint, you can go as big as you want. And it's a lot of fun. It's very easy and great for beginners. So I hope you'll follow along with me today and make one of your own. So I put my colors that I'm using in the tooltips, but I am working with yellows, reds, browns, and greens today. And it just reminds me so much of fall, which is actually my favorite season of the year. Not too cold, not too hot, and so many pretty colors. So I wanted to just do some very simple leaves. And on my first layer here, I just wanted to play a little bit with blending color. And so I'm just sort of dropping in some different things and seeing how it looks, but overall it's pretty light. Now, depending on your personal taste, if you're following along with me, you can add extra layers if you want to darken it. Really anything that you prefer, but I really enjoyed playing around and darkening up some areas with some more layers. So, and then at the end, I really wanted to add some texture. So I end up going in with some colored pencils, and I really like that sort of pencil look over the watercolor. It's been growing on me. I've been kind of experimenting with that lately, and I really like that combination. So if you haven't tried that, you really should. So I went in with my brown around some parts of the leaves and toward the bottom, and I'm going to do it with the stems too, but I want to just add that extra depth of color toward the bottom where the stems will end up being attached a little bit later on. But other than that, I'm just filling in with my color. I'm going in with a really, really light wash at first with a lot of water, and then just dropping some color in. And now here I am adding the little stems, and so what I'll do there is take a little bit of that brown and just dab it right at the end, and that will flow into the leaves that are still a little bit damp and help just add that extra little dimension there. And so since I have my leaves in already where I want them to be, it's actually a lot easier to add the stems later and have them just go wherever I want them to. And I grabbed my finer brush for that just so I could make a nice fine line. And like I said, it's just a really simple painting, and you can make it as easy or as as leveled up as you want, I guess. and really get crazy with the color. And I'm just using the mixing part that's attached to my palette to mix into some of the colors that I've already had. So I'm going in with my second layer now and darkening up the edge. I added some brown to my yellow ochre that had been sitting on the tray and just adding that to some of the edges. And then as I went, I decided I wanted to add a little bit more color to the center and the outside. So I go back into the red and also some more green. I'm really excited because I have another palette that I got to try, and that video will actually be coming out soon. So if you like videos like this and want to see more, consider subscribing, and you'll get video updates from me at this time about once every 3 days. So I really enjoy creating them. So if you enjoy watching, all the better. I like to do different things like watercolor, mixed media, art journals. Gosh, I even broke out my jelly plate. So if you want to see a channel with a little bit of everything, stick around with me, and I'd love to have you. So I'm going in with my last bit, and I wanted to add a little bit of something to the background. So I grabbed some of that red, and I'm making just kind of some bubbles, I guess. Just some circles with some inside shading, and I wasn't sure how dark I wanted them to be yet, so I started off very light, and then I just kind of slowly go on adding color as I go, and then I added a few more bubbles around here and end up making it a little bit darker. And I thought that it just added a little nice something to kind of offset the greens and browns and bring out some more of that red that's already in the leaves, but I didn't add too much. I was pretty sparing with it in the leaves. But I love how the color blend turned out. I thought they were really pretty. And it's just simple and just, you know, kind of light. You can see I'm just sort of dropping in color still, and I had some extra water on my brush, but just going around and getting those sort of soft colors in there, and then I can gradually add more. And if you're new to the channel, I work a lot on B watercolor paper. I think they have two different weights. The one I use is 140 pound, and it's all cotton, so I like using it. It's been a good paper for me, and I have really beat it up sometimes with a lot of wet on wet, and it holds up really well. I have tried some other watercolor papers, and there's a few others that I like that I really should be breaking out more in my videos, but I just tend to gravitate toward the B paper, and it's pretty reasonably priced too. I shop a lot on Jerry's Artorama for supplies, but I think they also sell it on Amazon too. You just have to make sure you get the right weight. So I'm going in with some more of that red and just deepening the color a little bit until it looks good to me. And I'm getting pretty close. And I liked how they looked, just kind of coming out from behind the leaves. And I went in and added just a little bit of green to the centers to darken them just a little bit and add some extra color. Now that I'm dry, I'm going around the outside of my leaves with an orange colored colored pencil, colored, and adding some of that orange a little bit on the inside of the leaf too as shading. And it leaves that nice kind of rough look on the side that I really liked when I was doing it. So I have some of that shading in there. I made the outline a little bit stronger and added a little bit more depth of color. And I really like that pencil and watercolor look. And then I'm going in with some green to add some little veins. And I'm going really, really lightly with my hand on this and just making some kind of squiggly lines and then having some extra lines coming off of the side. So it's a pretty veiny leaf, but you could keep it simple if you wanted to. It's just all personal preference, and most of this is experimental, but I really liked how it turned out. You just have to play with your supplies. But besides drying time, this went really quickly. It was a lot of fun to make. And I got to use several different colors, but still have kind of a nice muted palette, and they all blended really nicely together. So I had the red in my bubbles, so I grabbed a yellow colored pencil, and I'm just going around the very outside of them with kind of a strong line, almost like a highlight. And I thought that that looked really nice too. But I didn't do any extra shading inside the bubbles. I did, however, add some extra yellows. It's hard to know when to stop, isn't it? But overall, I think this was a really cute card. And it could be a card. You can stamp a sentiment on it depending on how you put your leaves together, or how many you put. You could leave space to add a stamp or something like that, or a handwritten message. That would work for a card. But I hope you enjoyed watching this and maybe following along with me today. And thank you so much for staying and watching my videos and interacting with my channel. I really enjoy all the feedback I get, and I hope you enjoyed this little project. So until next time, keep creating.